everyone, it's Julia. I turned the camera on quick while I decorated and embellished this little denim purse that I made. And I thought, it's just a quick little video. I should have another video on how I make these bags in a slower version. And I will link that up on top in the iCards and also down below if you're interested in that video. But this one, I just wanted to show how I'm doing the embellishment on this. I'm just really having fun and just playing around with it. I have a bunch of scraps of fabric here and I'm just folding and ironing these into place. And I'm putting these right under the belt loops. I want it to look like a patchwork belt. At my sewing machine, I am just going right over the top of these belt loops and just stitching this patchwork belt look thing down into place. Stitching on both long ends of this, right over those belt loops. And then also I'm going to be stitching on the short end of each one of these folded pieces of fabric just to get them down into place. Now I really wanted to do a fun embellishment for the front of this bag. And I'm using a drapery lining fabric. I've used this before. I love using it because it doesn't fray. And it's a really bright white, so it takes this paint really well. I'm using my small 4x6" gel plate here. These are fun just for these little projects. I just really enjoyed taking this out. I'm using I think it's Apple Barrel craft paint, inexpensive acrylic paint, and just using my brayer to get that paint on my gel plate. And just having fun with it. I'm adding some more paint and using the top of my pen to add some marks. I have so many just craft and art supplies, and it's so fun to be able to use them in different ways. I really love creating new fabrics. It just adds a whole new homespun look to my projects. Again, using just the same stencil and adding more marks and more paint. I'm using an owl Biggs die, and I'm going to be cutting this owl using this fabric that I just created. Also cutting out some wings there. I'm just laying some other pieces of fabric on there. Eyeballs, wings, and a beak, I believe, is all. And a little heart. There's going to be a little heart that you'll see what I'm going to be using as well. Just taking all these little pieces out. And putting the little owl together. I decided on using this vintage lace motifs that I've had in my stash for a while for the eyes. I'm just getting the eyeballs on, the beak. Getting the wings. Some of this fabric has heat and bond light on the back of them. They were just some of my scraps. And so I am using my iron just to get those down. I do end up using my fabric tack glue as well for this, especially on those lace motifs. I'm just using my fabric tack glue for that. And then I put it on the back of my embellishment to attach it to my purse. And this, I do also sew this embellishment on, but I just wanted to make sure that it stays put while I'm at the sewing machine. So I used my fabric tack glue. Just cutting another little piece just to put a little bit more of an embellishment on the top of this pocket. And this is the same piece of this lining fabric that we painted. And then I realized this little heart design I still had that left to use. And so I'm punching that out, and I'll also be just adding that. The same lace, I'm going to add a little bit to the back of it. I let the glue dry, and now I'm at my sewing machine. I'm going to be just free motion stitching this applique on. I have my feed dogs dropped and my my quilting foot on, and just outlining this design. And here's that top pocket. For the lining piece, I cut a piece the exact same dimension and shape as my purse, except I add an inch on the top. And again, I'll link that video where I go over this a little bit slower. Added a patch pocket, and now I stitch the sides and the bottom of each of these, both the lining and the outer purse, and box the corners and just clipping those corners. Now I did cut the lining fabric an inch longer, and I will be folding that over. You'll see it here in a second where I fold it over and get that pressed. Here it is where I press that inch down into place. Onto the straps. This is going to be an adjustable strap, and I needed to be 3 inches by 60 inches, so I did have to piece it, and that's what I'm doing right here. Opening that seam up and then pressing my strap down the middle, meeting that middle, and then folding it over and pressing it again. And this makes a 3/4 of an inch wide by 60-inch strap. This is my D loops, my D-ring loops. Again, the 3 inches by 5 inches, meeting it in the middle and stitching both sides. This gets cut in half, and then the D rings get just slid through that, and then I clip it into place. My D-ring loops are right on the sides of my bag, and then we'll stick my lining right inside, and using those clips, and this just gets stitched right around the top of the bag. And then I do add a little magnetic snap, and this is what the finished project looked like. Thank you so much, everybody. I have some pictures here. This was a fun, quick project, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Bye for now.